Good day, people. I'm Hira Deepika. In Ponniyin Selvan, this is episode number 5. Vandiyadevan suspected that so many dignitaries of the Chola Empire had gathered together in Samburaya's palace for some important reason. He, in a confused state, went to his bed in the isolated spot made ready by Kandamaran for him. Lie down and sleep well. Let me take care of the other guests and later will come sleep next to you, said Kandamaran before going away. As soon as he lay down, Vandiyadevan slept off. The incidents which he'd seen on that day had affected him much, and so he woke up suddenly from a nightmare. In a spot directly in front of his terrace, he could see the fortress walls of Kadambur Palace. Over there, he saw the head of Alvarkadiyan Nambi. This time, he realized that it was neither a dream nor a hallucination, because however long he stared at it, the head remained there. He noticed both the hands of Alvarkadiyan gripping tightly onto the wall. He was staring intensely at something below, inside the wall. Vandiyadevan thought that Alvarkadiyan could not have come there with good intentions and must have come there only with some evil plans. It is my duty to guard the house of my dearest friend who has fed me tonight. Vallavarayan picked up a knife and walked towards the direction in which he saw Nambi's head. Vandiyadevan had to go around several turrets, pillars, and decorative rooftops as he walked towards the outer walls of the palace. He hesitated a bit as he heard few voices talking suddenly somewhere nearby. Hiding himself behind a pillar, he peeped down below. In a narrow courtyard enclosed by tall walls, he saw about few men seated comfortably. From the light of an oil lamp nearby, Vandiyadevan identified the men seated. They were the chieftains and elder officials of the Chola Empire whom he had met at the banquet earlier. They all must have gathered in this midnight conference to discuss some important matter. Alvarkadiyan must have been trying to spy upon them by hanging onto the outer walls. From where he was positioned on the wall, Alvarkadiyan could see all the men seated in conference below and could hear their talk very well. But the men seated there could not see Alvarkadiyan. The courtyard and palace walls were situated in that fashion. If Alvarkadiyan had to be caught, it cannot be done so without attracting the attention of the men assembled below. There might be some danger while crossing the courtyard in full view of those men. Vandiyadevan recalled the words of Sambhuvarayar saying, "He need not have come here today of all days." These men are gathered here to discuss something important. It is clear that they do not want anyone to know what their discussions are about. In such a situation, if Vandiyadevan was to be spotted there, they will start suspecting him. By the time Vandiyadevan explains about Alvarkadiyan, he would have jumped off the wall and escaped. All that will remain is the doubt on Vandiyadevan. When he was thinking that this might put Kandamaran too in a tight spot, he noticed Kandamaran as a part of the meeting. Vandiyadevan thought of getting to know about this secret meeting from his friend in the morning. At that time, Vandiyadevan noticed the covered palanquin resting in one corner of the courtyard below him. It was the same palanquin that was behind Paruvetarayar and his elephant. Vandiyadevan was reminded of the lady who was in it and parted the curtains to peep outside. It was told that she was not even sent to the women's apartments in Samburaya's palace. Vandiyadevan thought if older men marry very young girls, suspicion drains their very life. Perhaps even now, Paruvu's young queen is in this palanquin. Gosh, at this age, he's enslaved by a girl. Maybe Kadiyan is waiting on that wall because the palanquin is here. What is the relationship between him and her? Perhaps she is his sister or maybe his sweetheart. Maybe Paruvetaraya forcefully abducted her and so Kadiyan is wandering around trying to find an opportunity to meet her and talk to her. Between, why should I bother about all these? Let me go back to sleep, thought Vandiyadevan. Just when he had made this decision, he heard his name being uttered down below. Immediately, he began to keenly listen. That guy who came in saying that he was a friend of your son, where is he sleeping? He should not hear anything that we utter here. Remember that he serves the commander-in-chief of the northern armies, Aditya Karigalar. Till all our plans are complete and the time for action arrives, no one should know about our plans. Even if there is slightest suspicion that this fellow knows something, it would be better to put a complete end to his activities. Vandiyadevan was shocked to hear it. He made up his mind to listen to their discussion as they were planning something in secrecy from the Prince Aditya Karigala, who was next in line to the throne. At that moment, Kandamaran intervened for his friend. Vandiyadevan is sleeping peacefully in the corner terrace. He cannot hear the discussions in this meeting. He will not interfere in things that do not concern him. Even if he hears something, he will not hinder your plans in any way. I'll be responsible for that. Paruvetaraya said, I'm happy that you trust him so much. What we are going to discuss now is about the rights of succession to an empire. Even if a word gets out because of carelessness, it may lead to severe consequences. As soon as Vandiyadevan heard the words right to the empire uttered by Paruvetaraya, he decided to completely know about the secret meeting. The confusing words of Kadiyan, the arrogant behavior of the gatekeepers, the frightening words of the soothsayer Devaralan, the gathering of chieftains of the Chola Empire, and Samburaya's unenthusiastic welcome. All these had made Vandiyadevan suspect that something mysterious was taking place in that palace. And now he had an opportunity to clear all those apprehensions. Well, even Kandamaran had not told me about the secret meeting. I must definitely get to know about the meeting from him tomorrow, thought Vandiyadevan. By now, Paruvetaraya had started talking. Samburaja has arranged for this meeting to discuss an important subject. Right now, the health of Emperor Sundara Chola is getting weaker day by day. When I secretly asked the palace doctors about it, they too said that there's not much hope and he's not likely to live much longer. Therefore, we have to decide upon the next course of action, said Paruvetaraya. What about the comet tail that is spotted in the evenings of recent days? asked a voice from the gathering. Puruvaraiyar replied, "We have consulted the astrologers too. They are just postponing the time a little. That's all. Anyway, we have to now decide on the eligibility to the throne's succession. What is left to think about it now? Was Aditya Karigalar not coronated as the crown prince 2 years ago?" declared a hoarse voice. If Aditya Karigalar had already been coronated as the successor to the throne, then why have the chieftains of the Chola Empire have gathered together and are discussing about the empire rights? Let's catch up on that in detail in our next episode. If you'd like to keep listening to this novel, please subscribe to my channel and do like this video. Thank you.